Hey guys, Bushcraft Family. I really wasn't going to, talk too much about this, or we mentioned it a little bit last night on the live, but I kind of tried to stay away from it a little bit because, the subject matter and whatnot. But the whole thing in Charlotte, the girl that was attacked on the subway or train, whatever it is, the train. The more you dig into this, or the more you find out, and not from the media. The media is not going to tell you anything. They tried to hide it. It's been tried to be swept under the rug and everything. It's pretty bad when the president of the United States has to bring it up before it gets any attention. And the reason being is because a black man stabbed to death a white woman. The whole thing is just horrible, but there's so many points in this that we could go over and everything. So I just want to get your opinion. Whoever may watch this or anything, I don't care what race you are, any of that stuff. That stuff never bothered me before. It doesn't bother me now. Unless you're intentionally trying to go after somebody because of who they are or what they, the color of their skin and stuff. And it doesn't make a difference which it is. But the fact that, first of all, we'll start with the act itself. Now, you're sitting on here, and you do the act, of this, and you have four people that you can see from the camera view that are just sitting there watching this. Now, they could be scared to death or, whatever. But the fact that they're just sitting there watching this happen, 2 feet away to where they can reach out and touch the people that are doing this or that is doing that. And the fact that they're just not doing anything. It's sickening. I'm not saying, everybody should get up and try to help somebody, whatnot. They could say something. Dude, don't do that, whatever. Now, it's going to come out that, you have the only white person in that view is the victim. And that is unfortunate, and it's usually you wouldn't see or hear anything about it, but it's up front and center. And the fact that not one of them, and there's males in this group, not one of them did anything. Now, some would say that if he was white and the girl was black, they would have got up and done something. We don't know that because it's not come about or anything like that. But the fact that this came about like this, it kind of shows, and I'm not talking about the guy's history because He's been in and out of trouble over and over again, seen the same judges over and over again, and he's out to do what he has to do. According to him, reason he does this stuff, and was just brought out that he spoke out with his sister, evidently, and it was recorded. And it seemed like it was rehearsed, the way they both talked and everything. But he's suggesting that the government put materials into his body that made him do these things. If that was the case, he's been doing it since he was a little in the juvenile and on up. So very well doubt that would be the case. The fact that, as soon as he got up, walked to the door to get ready to leave or whatever, people hear him saying, "I got that white girl." We'll put it that way. Multiple people heard it. They say you can hear it on the video. I really couldn't make anything out in the video, which I didn't watch too much, but you can see he's dripping blood wherever he's walking. And yeah. And instead of people calling 911, not that there would be anything to do, but maybe they could, save somebody else's life. Who knows? But instead of calling 911, they put their phones up and record the whole thing. To me, they should be charged just as much as he should be. And if I'm not mistaken, it used to be a crime to not do anything. If you see a crime and you don't do anything, they used to get charged for that. I don't know if it's still a thing or not, but it seems, everybody stays away, and if somebody's being hurt or something, oh, well, somebody else will take care of it, type of thing. Now, for this Ukraine girl, her mother and sister came from Ukraine during 2022 or something like that. During, the thing. She was a refugee. She went through the process of doing things the right way and everything to come to America. And she loved it here. Her family loved it here. There was talk about her going back to Ukraine to being buried and all that stuff. And the mother says no. She loved it here so much that she wants to be buried here. So she was in Charlotte. Unfortunately, the father couldn't come to the funeral because he's a male and he lives in Ukraine, and you're not allowed to leave because, the thing that's going on over there. Which that's just another smack in the face of what's happened to this family and stuff. And it's a shame. It really is. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this is this is not the only thing. There are so many of these stories that just don't get the public attention because they don't want to bring attention to anything that a certain race does to another race. Now, if it was the other way around, it'd be up front and center. But we have got to where in this country that, one side of the race sells more views than the other side. And that's just the way it is. And it's unfortunate that we've gotten to this nitpicky what kind of news to put on and how much of the news is true. I remember there used to be respect for reporters and stuff like that. Now, you know, you go to a place and they say, "Hi, I'm so and so from CNN or whatever." Everybody frowns upon those people because they're fake. They lie. They make up. They stretch the truth, or they just make up a whole story out of nothing. And it's published. There's no ramifications of them lying or anything. Maybe they have to pay a fine, but out of all the views and publications and stuff, it's no biggie to be fined $1 million and they make 10 million off of the story. But I wanted to kind of convey to people to be careful when in public anymore. And I'm not saying to be scared of going around every little corner. Just be cautious. Know your surroundings and don't bury yourself in a cell phone, and know what's going on around you, because you never know. And like this girl, she had nobody there to help her. Nobody. Everybody just sat there and did nothing. And I'm going to leave it at that. Until next time, like always, God bless.